initially we wanted to street cast the whole film. I made some short films like this, but with this particular story, like we got, at least with the main character Rico, we got pretty far along with someone that we street cast. But he, at the very last moment, maybe like 3 days before we were meant to go out and shoot, he dropped out of the production. He himself was a recent father, and we were interested in working with that. That story, that backstory, and kind of leaning more into kind of the documentary aspects of what the film could be. But he called us up and he was like, yeah, no, I don't think I can do it. I think it's gonna take me away from my family. And then, when we were kind of like trying to dig deeper and kind of just try to understand why he didn't want to do it anymore, it turned out like his girlfriend, she was just like, not like, she thought that the film would make him like too, like his head would get too big or something like this. And then I was like,
she had to keep it humble.
Yeah, exactly. But I was like really downplaying. I was like, nah, man, no one's gonna see this movie. Like, for nobody, like not knowing obviously that it would go to Sundance and things. Like maybe he just avoided really something serious. But he was just really, he stuck to his guns. He was like, no, I don't want to do it. And I was like, all right, I'm not gonna fight you. So we'd met Juan about a week and change before, and he was our second choice. Kind of like we had him in mind as like an understudy, because it's always, when you're working with non-actors, there's like a reliability concern. Like sometimes they don't show up and things like this, so we just had him there on the sidelines. But anyway, we called Juan 3 days before, like, yo, are you still down to do this? And he was rose to the challenge. And so much of the film obviously is credit to Juan, because there's so much improvisation in it too. Like honestly, like had the film been made with the other guy, it would have been a completely different film. Maybe still a good film, but a different film. And Juan, he's just he's like a gifted actor. He has very good comedic timing. And so anyway, that's how we found Juan. Destiny, we found the character's name, as I wrote her name was Destiny, and it just turned out that this really talented young woman, the name is that, it was just kind of crazy.
One would think that it would be the other way around, that
yeah.
you find her.
No, like that was her name. I was like, this. But anyway, all she had a backstage profile, and she only had TikToks on it. So just like that, those TikTok, they weren't even like TikToks of her like acting as herself. She was like lip syncing to scenes from like popular movies. So she was she did like Eternal Sunshine and some other movies, and I was just so struck by like it was just really compelling, like what she was doing with her face and stuff. So, and then she was also like New York. She was a New Yorker. She was Dominican. I was like, okay, let's see what this is about. And what I had in mind for who Destiny was like very, when I was developing the character, was more like the traditional Latina girlfriend and all that, But like she was just so untraditional, and I think in like that pairing of these two characters, like it just made it more interesting to me, and like also said a lot more about Rico as the character, and kind of I don't know, like there was just more nuance to that relationship that I kind of liked. Joanna Florentino, who plays the mom, she's great. She was someone that I worked with before. She's been in my orbit. She's like classically trained actor. And then Natalie Navarro, who plays the sister, she was recommended to us by an agent, and she works in like commercials and she acts and things like this. So in the end, it was like, from all over.
For sure.